Life becomes so much simpler when you have really, really, really cool friends. I just got a chance to be able to do a little pre-production with my friend that I get a chance to share with you today. But she has no idea how much her and her husband mean to me. I believe it was episode 2 or 4 we were just talking about. It's been almost 6 years. They believed in me very early on when we first started off this project with the podcast. When I met her in Nashville, I had no idea who she was, but she was just an incredibly nice person. She connected with people, made eye contact with people, and the more and more that I learned about her, the more and more I was just like enamored with how she served people. She's one of the greatest connectors and a person who brings people together. She's the person that a lot of times stays in the background a little bit, but powers everything. And when I started off this podcast, guys, almost 6 years ago, today is episode 744. And I get the chance to be able to bring back on one of my very good friends that you guys are going to meet possibly in person. So stay tuned for that one. But the last time when she was on, her dogs were barking. We had a great time on the podcast. She gave herself a hard time. But it's been incredible to be able to learn so much from her from watching from a distance. Every single successful person that I see is not focused on themselves. They're focused on service, and they're focused on making sure that everybody else has what they need. Being a good friend creates a great life for others. And this is probably one of the greatest examples. This is, in my eyes, one of the most successful women in the world. The reason why is because she's out in the world making it a better place. Not only for her kids and for her husband, but for every single person around her. It's my honor and pleasure to bring you Mrs. Jaimie Robinson. So why don't we get this party started?
Yeah. And this the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small grooves into launch pad flights. Yeah, this the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small rooms into launch pad flights. Grew up on.
And since she was the day of diagnosis till right now, she went from doing shots, having to calculate all carbs and things like that, to now she has a artificial pancreas, which she's 20. She's a sophomore in college at UNC Chapel Hill, and we all know what happens in college. So thank goodness for this artificial pancreas.
You mean the pancreas helps out with singing hymns and hanging out with your friends,
Yes.
you know, and drinking Kool-Aid and things like that? Is that what you're referring to, Jaimie?
Yes, the sugar in the Kool-Aid. But so when she was diagnosed, I'll never forget, she was in the hospital, and I could see my husband sitting there crying, and I'm like, babe, she's fine. She's gonna be okay. You know, we caught it right in time before she went into, honestly, a coma. And he was like, yeah, but what's gonna happen when she goes to college? And so I'm like, well, we have a long time for that. Well, then here we are, you know, but the artificial pancreas at the time was like, yeah, right, that'll never come, you know? And here it is that it is here, and she can eat, drink anything she wants, and it monitors her blood sugar without her having to prick her finger.
Really?
So, yeah, it's insane.
It's come that far, because I remember when we talked. What was it? Dexcom was a big one too with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of my neighbors, actually, Jason, his daughter Ella was type 1 diabetic, and he had to contact a programmer that wouldn't give him the full program because he didn't want a lawsuit against him, but he gave him enough of the code to be able to, at the time, this was way back in the day, where the device that was on the arm would then transmit to his phone, and it would keep her glucose levels while she was at
Yeah.
school, but they had to do it almost black market. They did a story in the Wall Street Journal about him,
For sure.
but now it's an
Uh-huh.
artificial pancreas.
So now that Dexcom that you're talking about,
Yeah.
that Dexcom talks to her pump that is connected to her. And that pump is the artificial pancreas.
Oh my
And so
God.
it will tell that pump, hey, she's going low, and it'll shut her pump off. And it'll alarm her saying, hey, you're low, but she's had it so long, she knows when she's low.
Yeah.
Or if she's going really high, the Dexcom tells the pump, hey, she needs insulin, and it gives her insulin.
Wow.
Whereas before, when she was first diagnosed, before she ate anything, we would have to tally the carbs and then manually put it in her pump, how much insulin she needs, hoping we got the right amount. But now she doesn't need to worry about any of that. She just goes about her
Wow.
daily life.
That is
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, it's incredible.
Singing hymns and drinking Kool-Aid at college, you know what I mean? Being in before curfew all the time, Taylor. Taylor, I know you're
She's
listening.
great.
So she's always doing that. Congratulations on singing the hymns too with all of your friends together. I know that that's what you're doing. That's incredible. So, what about Honduras? You were just telling me about Honduras and spending
Oh,
time down there. We all wish, now you're going to talk about Honduras. We all wish that you were spending more time with the Titans, but that's a story for later on that we'll talk about.
I will say my family and I are taking advantage of not being with the Titans.
Yeah.
And part of the of what we are doing is going to Honduras with an organization called Hearts to Honduras.
Yeah.
Our youngest, Bailey, her soccer coach and his mother started this organization. I think they're on year 11 or 12 now. And they have formed where they take groups, and we go into orphanages, we go into a nutrition center, we go into a children's church, and they've also started an organization. It's called LL21, and it's for Down syndrome children in the area because they didn't have that. And they also just launched this summer. Um, they launched a program that helps the students who are now graduating from Hearts to Honduras and going to college. So the main focus of the organization is to send these children to school and to send them to university to give them a chance and to get out of that poverty bubble. And it has blown us away. In fact, John's on their board now. And it all started 3, 4 years ago when Taylor was a junior in high school. She had the opportunity to go to Honduras with this group through school. And so she came back and she was blown away. She was like, I really would love for us to do this as a family. And so we were like, yeah, absolutely. Well, that Christmas, John and I, it was the first year that we didn't have anything to do for Christmas because usually there were football games. John would go to work on Christmas Day, right? So this was the year that we were like, hey, let's go on vacation like everybody else does in this world. And we brought it up to the kids. We were like, do y'all want to go somewhere? Let's go to Costa Rica. We've never been there. And Taylor said, no. She said, honestly, if we go anywhere, can we go to Honduras? Because I know they go during Christmas time. So, I mean, how can we say mission trip, Costa Rica? I mean, that kind of looks bad, right? If we chose Costa Rica. So we were like, yes, as a family, we will go to Honduras. So the four of us went. You typically go the week before Christmas. They bring all these amazing gifts. And when I say gifts, I mean, it's little trinkets that these kids don't have there, you know? Um, and it opened our eyes. It just, these kids, like we sponsor a handful of kids there now, and they are a part of our family. Like we go one or two times a year now, and we have the same children, and they are a part of our family, and um, it's just amazing to watch them grow. I have so many stories, Kelly, I could tell you about from my two girls at the orphanage. When I was there this summer, they were actually debating if they were going to leave the orphanage and go back to their family. And they asked me, they were like, would you still sponsor us to help us? And I'm like, I can't do that if you're not within Hearts to Honduras. And so they were like, well, would you sponsor us to go to cosmetology school if we stay? And I'm like, yes. If the university is not what you want to do and you want to do something like that, I will sponsor, but you have to stay here because you know the guidance where you know that they're taken good care of. They're still there. We leave next week. I didn't know if I was going to see them again, and they're still there waiting for us.
Really?
So I am just, and these girls are 16 and 17 years old. So it's just, I don't know. God has done some amazing things there. Amazing. Do you have time for one more story?
Girl, I got all day. This is about you. That's I mean, spending time with you, seriously, like, this means it honestly, it means the world to me. You know what I mean? It really does.
No.
It really does. I was thinking about it this morning, and not only did you share, like you and John shared with me, I believe it was episode 2. I'll go back and I'll check it out. But I remember my friend Wayne Freeman, he called me afterwards. He's like, you are coming out of the gate firing. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the first couple podcasts, he's like, how are you going to follow this up? And it's very tough. But you not only shared you and John, but you shared your daughter with me, and then you shared time. And I just want you to know, I mean, I got time for all the stories, every story. Go, go, go.
Because I can talk a lot.
I like
mean, I'm a little bit more comfortable in front of the screen now than I was 6 years ago. I listened to it recently, and I was like, I texted you, and I'm like, Kelly, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. I was so nervous.
No, we're always hard on ourselves. You were amazing. You were incredible. But no, go back to Honduras. Like, take us back there.
So this is one of my absolutely most favorite stories, and it touches so many people when we tell them this story. So our first Christmas there was this little boy at the children's church. So what consists of the children's church is this teeny tiny room, or building, I should say, in one of the worst neighborhoods in El Progreso, Honduras. But we go in there as a bus, and there are the children and their families, and they just welcome us and love on us. And we've gotten to be really close with the pastor. And it's just, this is one of the organizations that Hearts to Honduras helps and puts these kids through school. And because over there, even in public school, you still have to pay. Like, it's very strange, but you still have to pay no matter what. So anyway, there was this sweet, sweet little boy, short, very chunky. Oh gosh, he was so precious. He just fell in love with Bailey, and he would not leave Bailey's side. He was constantly loving on her anytime they would dance, because they do this big performance. He would always grab Bailey's hand to go dance. So when we go, we end up going to the church about 3 times. So at the end of it, we all sing at the end, and I mean, there are just tears because you don't know when you're going to see these children again, right? And so the next day we were leaving to come to the States, and we pulled Bailey into our hotel room. And we were like, Bailey, we want to give you this opportunity that if you want to sponsor Christopher, we would love to sponsor Christopher. Because at this point, we were already sponsoring a family or some siblings at the orphanage. And we were like, we fell in love with this little boy. And she started crying, and she's like, yes, yes, yes. So we're like, okay. We were like, well, we'll tell Rhonda to, who is the owner of the owner. Um, we were like, we'll tell Rhonda and make sure that she knows we want to sponsor. So we go downstairs with our luggage because we're about to leave, and we know that some of the pastors are coming to have breakfast with us. So the pastor from the children's church starts walking by, and John and I are in the little coffee shop that's connected to the hotel. And lo and behold, who's with him is little Christopher. And now we hadn't even told Rhonda yet that we wanted to sponsor this little boy. John and I look at each other and we were like, that's it. This is God telling us that we need to sponsor Christopher. And we were so excited to be able to tell Christopher face to face. So we run inside to go find Bailey to tell Bailey that Christopher was coming. And then we find Rhonda, and we were like, listen, we were about to tell you this. And she was like, wait a second, there's something extra with Christopher. I got to figure out the details. So she went and talked to the pastor. Come to find out, little Christopher was just told by his teachers that he could no longer go to school because he had a hearing problem and he couldn't hear what the teachers were saying. So he was so far behind in school that there was nothing they could do for him. And so the week before we met him, he actually just had surgery on his ear to help with his hearing. But he could no longer go to school, and it required him to go to this private special needs school. So I have the chills all over my body right now. So we were just like, well, done. He can go to school. We are going to put him through this private school. So we were able to tell Christopher and the pastor that were there that he can go back to school. And so it's little things like this that Hearts to Honduras provide for these children, and God just plucks you up and like puts you where you need to be, right? So since then, I mean, we've gone multiple times. I keep in touch with his mom. We keep in touch with his mom's sister because we sponsor her little boy now. And it's a whole family. And we can't speak to each other. Taylor and Bailey can somewhat speak to them, but we can't speak other than hugging them, loving on them. It's just incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old is he now?
He's 10.
Oh my gosh. Well,
He's 10.
You'll blink your eyes and he'll be because Bailey is Bailey 16 or 17?
She's 16. She's about to be 17. Yeah.
Was Bailey there when John was the Grinch?
Yes. This is funny. Okay. I cannot wait to tell this story.
Do you have a picture? Do you have a picture of him?
I do.
Can you? Do you have it on your phone? Do you have it on your phone?
I do.
Text it to me. You should text it to me. This would
right
be
now.
Can you?
Or later?
You can. Can you find it on your phone?
Yeah.
I can pop it up on the screen. It's simple.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is great. What's the helmet? What's the helmet in the back? By the way, what's the what is that? Is it you?
Way.
No, the other way. Other way. Is that a helmet?
Other way.
Is it a purple helmet?
Oh, that's his high school helmet.
It is.
Yeah, and then on this side, I don't know if you see that one.
I see a little one. I see a little one.
College.
That's his college. Where did John go to college?
Southeast Missouri.
Southeast Missouri.
But he started off at the Air Force Academy.
He did.
He did. He got a scholarship to play football at the Air Force Academy.
Okay.
But it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
He didn't like it too much. No. He said he didn't like people yelling at him.
Well, and it's amazing because he's not that type of leader either, and in hearing how soft spoken, but I tell you, you guys
Yeah.
too, you guys coming out when I was there in Nashville, that meant
Uh-huh.
so much to me.
Oh,
That
we
was awesome.
loved it.
It was so cool.
We absolutely loved it. I'm gonna have to find this. Now that they did this update, I
I
like
know. If you can't find
it's
it, I mean,
horrible.
it's I know. My wife has been all about it. Like, did you did it bother you that the search bar on the is on the bottom now? This is
I'm
what
giggling. It didn't bother me, but it bothered John.
See, it bothers Brooklyn. Brooklyn is like, there's got to be something. And I just was like, because I'm a tech genius, because I turn things on and then
Uh-huh.
off. If you turn them on and
Uh-huh.
then off, then they all reset, and I feel like I'm an IT genius. Um, but, but she was so frustrated. She's so calm, but she just wants to throw that phone out the window because of the search bar.
I just sent you a text of
Okay.
little Christopher, which
Okay.
means
I'm gonna
I'm
put
about to find the Grinch.
good because
Aha!
I'm
I
gonna
found
put
it.
this one up on here too. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna show. I would need to show Christopher because being able to see the. Let me do this. Oh, let me go. There we go.
Isn't he precious?
Isn't that great? I mean, that's little Christopher. If you're watching on YouTube,
That's
or
Christopher.
there's Christopher. Now we got to see the Grinch, and it's. Oh man.
He's
So,
amazing.
how old is Christopher
And all
now?
these children. Huh?
How old is Christopher? He's 10.
He may be 11 now. That could be,
Okay.
that was last Christmas, and I think he was 10 there.
Okay. Oh,
I
you
think
got
he just turned 11.
now you got to see John too. This is great. Okay, so I'm gonna put John's picture up, and then and then we'll tell the story about John. Let me do this real quick. So I'm gonna go here.
And there's a video of John with. It's hilarious.
I like that he's
It's
barefoot too. He's barefooted.
That was in our room. We were getting ready.
I love this. He didn't roll in barefoot, Grinch.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So we had to, so the whole Grinch situation. So, kind of to give y'all a background on what we do for Christmas is Shelton, who is one of the founders of the organization. That's Bailey's soccer coach. He used to live in Honduras, and he went there on his own mission trip one time and fell in love, ended up living there, and that's how his mom came on board. And they now have a whole family there. She's adopted another son and another daughter, who the daughter works at the orphanage and the son works for the LL21 program, which is the Down syndrome program,
Uh-huh.
because his stepdaughter is actually Down syndrome. So anyway, so for Christmas, what we do is we have a Christmas party. Every night is for, each place we go to. Well, the first year we went, John thought it was funny, and he was like, "Oh, I should have brought a Grinch costume." And so we laughed about it. Well, last year, while we were there, we were on the bus, I want to say on the way to the children's church, and we started talking about the Grinch again. And so one of the pastors was like, "I can find a Grinch costume." He calls somebody up. Next thing you know, there is some man on a motorcycle pulls up next to our bus with a grocery bag with a Grinch hat in it. We were like, we were dying. It was so funny. And then we had to go to a hardware store. He doesn't have them on right here, but he ended up finding some lime green pillows, and he took the stuffing out, and then he put um, string around the pillows to give himself green hands. And it I will say he just bought himself one for Amazon, so when we go next week he has an actual Grinch costume. But so the kids did not expect the Grinch to come out at all. So at the orphanage, at the nutrition center, everywhere, nobody really had a reaction. They laughed about it and played up with him. Well, it was whenever we had the Christmas party for the LL21. The kids were sitting around Santa taking a group picture, and John comes running into the room pretending like he's going to get their gifts. This one sweet little boy, Brandon, he's probably the biggest one there, really tall, really strong. He looks at John and he's like, "That's my Santa." And next thing you know, he hits John on top of the head, and John could barely see because of the mask. So John ducks down, he takes off running. He's like, it was the best. And when I saw him this summer, when John wasn't with us this summer, it was just the girls and I. We saw Brandon, and I was like, "Brandon," I was like, "What about the Grinch?" And he immediately started giving me, a fist. And he's like, "Oh," started talking about the Grinch. It was so cute.
So what have you guys been doing? How are you and John adjusting to having older kids? Like when you and I met, this is 6 years ago when we meet. And
Uh-huh.
so, 6 years ago, Taylor is what? 14 years old. Bailey
Yeah.
is,
Bailey
11.
would have been 11,
Yeah.
10
So
or
she's
11.
11. They're,
Hmm.
at 14 years old, they still kind of rely on you. They're giving a little bit of
Yeah.
you're not that cool, whatever it is. But there's this family unit. And then you get into, and we're experiencing it with one of them,
Mm, yeah.
where there's the independence. I don't think that Taylor is inviting you and John to every one of her parties where they sing hymns and drink Kool-Aid at
I
college.
don't know. We're pretty fun.
Okay, well, you do it like that, Jaimie. So, but they become more independent, right? So
Yeah.
how have you guys adjusted to that?
Oh my goodness. Every stage has been so much fun.
Yeah.
With them. They are just, I think because of the way John worked and the way like we have our little family circle is, we've always relied on each other, right? Because we moved around. So Kelly, when he first started scouting with the Patriots. It was in 2002. It was a month or two after we got married.
Okay.
And at the time we were living in Louisiana, where I'm from.
Yeah.
So a couple months after we get married, he gets this job with the Patriots. He's scouting the Southeast region. So we moved to Atlanta. We're in Atlanta for about 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. We have Taylor. A couple months after we have Taylor, he gets promoted within New England, and we move to Dallas because he's now the national scout. And so the reason why we moved to Dallas, number one, my sister was living there at the time. So I was like, perfect, I have family. But because he was more in the central of the country and can get to places faster. So we're there 3.5, 4 years. We have Bailey. I kid you not. We left the hospital. He brings me home the very next day. He leaves me for what was it, the East West Bowl. He leaves me and goes to Mobile for a bowl game. I just had the baby. So from that bowl game, he calls me and says, "Hey, look, Nick Caserio, who is now the GM for the Texans," he was like that because that was his boss in New England. He was like, "No, I take that back. I take that back. It wasn't Nick. It was Scott Pioli." I am no, no. Oh my gosh, no. It was Thomas Dimitroff. All kind of. If everybody knows football, you know these names too, which is crazy.
Everyone knows these names.
Yeah. So Thomas Dimitroff, who was John's boss, he was the director of college scouting at the time, just was told that he got the job as a GM for the Atlanta Falcons. So John was up for a promotion to get Thomas's job, but in our mind, we're like, well, we'll be able to stay in Dallas because Thomas lived in Colorado doing this job.
Yeah.
Well, he calls me from that bowl game and says, "Hey, I was just told I got the job and they want us to live in Boston." I'm like, "I'm from New Orleans. You want me to live in Boston?" And my parents just moved to Texas in November.
Oh.
I'm like, well, way to get me. I have a 3-day-old maybe. So anyway, we moved to Boston. So all this to say, and then 5 years later, we moved to Tampa, and then we moved to Tennessee. So all this to say, my girls and I are very close.
Yeah.
We have this little tight, like, relationship because it was just us for so long, right? And so I will say that it was an adjustment
Uh-huh.
when John was home. Um, have you ever heard, and I think I may have texted you this, of J.H. Ranch in California?
J.H.
Have I
Ranch.
ever told?
No.
It's in Northern California. It's a Christian-based camp.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's a Christian-based camp to where the kids can go by themselves or they can go with a parent. And a lot of times it's like a father-daughter thing or a son-daughter thing. I mean, son-daughter, son-mother.
Son, mother. Okay, got it. Got it. Like an opposite kind of thing, not a
Yeah,
son. Okay.
yeah.
Not a father son.
So, huh?
It's not as much a
You
father
can
son.
do
You
you
can.
can do father son.
Okay.
You can do the same sex too. And then they also have a marriage one called Scott River Lodge. And
Okay.
that's probably about an hour away from JH Ranch, but it's all the same organization. So anyway, when John was no longer with the Titans and he was around us 24/7, there was a little bit of beef with the oldest. And she's like, how is he telling me what to do now? Like she was so confused. So, and all that to say but they still never gave us any problems. We never had issues with the kids. But John and I, when he got let go, we went to the marriage counseling one, and it was a week in the mountains in California. That was the best thing we could have done.
Wow.
And I'll have to tell you all about that. And then from there, it spawned to us leaving and him going, Taylor and I need to go to JH Ranch. And since then, their relationship has been the best it ever could have been.
Really?
And then he took Bailey last year. So, yeah, it's awesome. It really is. And I mean, we're just like I said, the different stages with the kids have been so amazing.
Take us to that place, or take me to that place, because, and I've been wanting to ask you, but I haven't got the opportunity. But most of the time, people with sports, things like that, we have the tendency to be, we're unemotional about the people, we're emotional about the team. So if our favorite, and you understand what I'm talking about, right?
I love you.
Right?
Nobody knows that.
Well, and if we lose our favorite player, we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Or a guy gets traded or whatever it is. We're not thinking about the guy with the family, with the kids, with the house, with their family. I know how close you are with your mom. Mm-hmm. What was that like? What's it like to get a call? Because it's pretty abrupt too. Am I correct in these situations? Yes. What did you go through? Because I remember watching, and I was watching. It was the Eagles game. Am I correct on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were very correct.
So it's the Eagles game. Number one, what I want to tell you is A.J. Brown never had a 1,000-yard season, and he wasn't $100 million guy at that time. So I want to put that out there, and I've never said that publicly, but for people who are like, oh man, it was a bad decision, he was not a 1,000-yard receiver ever before that.
Yeah.
And then decisions make, whatever it is, it goes. And then we end up, Titans end up playing the Eagles. And that night I remember watching, and the headliner on the ticker comes across, and all I could think about was you, Taylor, Bailey, and John. I wasn't thinking about the ticker, but most of the people in the world were just thinking the ticker.
Gosh, I appreciate you recognizing that and seeing that, because nobody does. except my friends, because they know, like it truly is one of the worst experiences that you can go through. There was something recently, John posted for my birthday, and it was kind of a joke, and I knew he was going to do it, but they raised fans raised hell about it. And people were like, if I see you in the street, I'm going to shoot you, things like that. And it's like, come on, it's a game, it's entertainment, you don't know what happens behind the scene. Like, it's just, so I really appreciate you recognizing that. It was, yeah, it was really difficult.
Yeah.
Still is. He's still getting blamed.
Well, take us to. I mean, take me to that night, right? So
Oh, God.
you guys are sitting. What are you together at the time?
The night of what? When he
Like,
was let go?
yeah, when he was let go. Take us? I mean, what happens? What happens in this type of scenario, and what do you go through as a wife, and as a mother? Because now it's not just, hey, like, say with myself, if I'm not, I guess I'm a bit in the public eye, but if a normal dad loses his job,
Yeah.
it's inside the family. They talk to the family. In this situation,
Yeah.
your kids go to school and someone's going to ask them about it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But take us
Yeah.
to
So
what about
I
you? Like what happened and how did it go down?
So I'm kind of, I have a big smile on my face because it's such a God story. I
Yeah.
mean, it always, you have to trust, right? You
Yeah.
have to trust in the process. You have to believe that there's a reason for everything. Even though, I mean, 4 years later, we're like still waiting to see what's next, right? Um, but you do. And so living with that much pressure, John was under so much pressure. He didn't realize at the time how stressed he was. He knew he was stressed, but now that he doesn't have that stress, he sees it now. And so the joke amongst us was, when we would be at the beach, and it would be during the summer, it was supposedly his time off, and his phone's blowing up. He would look at his phone and just be like, whenever I quit this job, I'm throwing this phone into the ocean. That's always been our joke. And so that weekend, Bailey and I went to New York City. When both of my girls were in eighth grade, I did a one-on-one trip with them, because to me, it's very important that you have that one-on-one time with your child,
Yeah.
And so I did that, and it happened to be that that was the weekend that Bailey went to New York. And so we get home. We had just gotten home, and uh, I want to say the end of the game was while we were on the flight. And we were all waiting for him because we knew it would be really hard for him. And so, you know what we did? We sat around in the living room talking about what would happen if he got let go. What would we be doing? He was like, I could go to New York with y'all because I wouldn't have to work. Like, it was just, we were joking and we were just laughing about it, saying we were like daydreaming what it would be like to have John around, to do these experiences with us. So Monday rolls around, Tuesday pops up, and we're sitting there chit chatting on the phone because he would go to work at 4:30 every morning. And so we were talking, and when we hung up, I sent a picture of a bulldog in a bikini laying on the beach. And I was like, just think, this could be us one day. I'm not kidding, Kelly. 30 minutes later, I get the phone call and says, hey, babe, I'll be home by noon. I'm like, what? Yeah, isn't that insane?
Wow.
And so I had to call my children. I had to call the school because it wasn't out yet. I had to call the school, and I was like, please, is this a family emergency? Is there any way that you can get the girls out of school And Taylor obviously was driving at the time, and I was like, just tell them please to come home straight home. So she's texting me, Bailey and Taylor, what's going on, Mom? Is it the dogs? And I'm like, just get home, babe, and I'll tell you. So sure enough, when we moved here, um, we purposely found a school that was small, that if something like this was ever to happen, we knew our kids were taken care of. And we weren't worrying about the 500 other kids in their grade, right? So at the time, right now, Bailey only has 90 kids in her class. And so, yeah, it's really small. And that's probably the biggest class that they have now at that school. But I was getting calls once it was made public. I was getting calls by the head of school, by other teachers going, where are the girls? We're going to get them. We're bringing them in the room. And I'm like, nope, nope, nope. They're home. I got them. So the kids actually didn't have a hard transition. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
They really, school took care of them. Their best friends took care of them. So it was okay for them. I really don't think Bailey, and she'll tell you this now, Bailey really was so young. She really didn't understand how cool that job was.
Because it's
She
just
thought
dad.
it was,
It's just dad, right? It's just dad. He's
yeah,
going to work. He's doing his thing, whatever.
yeah. So none of her friends really understood it. Like, so it was mainly Taylor, that her friends knew and the people in her class knew. Um, so yeah, it's been a transition. It really, really has. Um, and another funny God thing we like to tell people is at the end of that summer, before he was let go, or it was probably during the middle of the summer. I mean, Kelly, you have to understand, we have been married and together. We've been married 24 years, together 26 years. Yeah. So, right. And not every marriage is perfect. It's not. And the way the way a life of an NFL player, coach, training staff, anything, it is one of the most time consuming, um, isolating things that you could ever go through, right? And your husband doesn't even understand at all what you go through because he's not here to see it. And this isn't a knock on John. It is what it is. So that summer, we had been bickering a little bit. Nothing to where I'm like, I'm leaving, nothing like that. It's just your normal marriage bickering. And so I was like, listen, I was like, I want to go to JH Ranch. I knew another couple that went, and I was like, I really think we need this time away by ourselves. I think we need a little bit of counseling. I think we don't need a phone. I was like, we need this time to ourselves. And he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, whatever. And so that summer, at the end of the summer, I was like, okay, I have to book this a year in advance. We're going to go. And he was like, no, we got to talk about it. We have to talk about it. When are we going to go? And I'm like, I'm not talking about it. I'm like, I'm booking it. So I booked it. I booked it without thinking the time of the year. It was training camp for the following year. And so I just knew it was something we had to do. And schedule wise, I knew that was the only week we could go. So he gets let go in December. And I don't know when we started talking about California. He goes, how on earth did you think we were going to do this? I was like, I don't know, but I know we needed something. And God had our side. We needed something. And so we went to California, and that was the best decision we have ever made. Getting back from California, I mean, we started dating again. I'm getting the chills. I'll probably start crying soon. Um, we started dating again. We fell in love all over again. I mean, it's just, we learned how to talk to each other again, and that's something that we lost in touch. We were so busy, and that's not just him, it's me too. Um, and God knew what we needed. And now, I mean, the kids see us and they're like, gross, mom, stop.
I
I'm
think
like,
I
what?
think that's
This is what marriage is like.
I think that's when things are good is when your kids are telling you, stop. Like,
Yes.
don't do that. You know,
So
why
gross.
yeah.
I forgot what we were somewhere recently. It might have been Honduras. And John and I were walking ahead of them, and we started holding hands, and they were like, "Come on, we're in public. Would y'all stop?" And now that's something they've never seen their whole life is him hold my hand.
Well, I want to rewind just a little bit because you talked
Yeah.
about the wives and the families a lot of times don't understand it. You actually did a project, and I'm gonna this is a heavy point for me. You did
Okay.
this project, right? You did this project, and it started with a P, and it was a podcast, and right. And so you started this podcast, and it was awesome. It was incredible. You guys were doing that. But my only gripe, Jaimie, not the only that it didn't continue on because it was creating community, bringing the people together, which you could talk
Yeah.
about. But my one gripe is I had the greatest idea of all time, and I texted it to you. And I remember where I was when I texted it to
Okay.
you. And have you ever got the bubbles and then there's no response? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're waiting, you see the bubbles and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a great response. And then there's no
Yeah.
response. Jaimie, you gave me the bubbles with no response.
I did?
Yes. And I was on the way home and I saw your podcast. I was like, man, this is amazing. And then I was
No!
like, I got an idea here. And I sent out the idea because my name is Kelly. There was Regis and Kelly, right? And I was like, Jaimie and Kelly, who's better at a podcast about the Titans than the greatest fan of all time? And then happens to be at the time the general manager's wife who brings communities together. I thought this would be a match made in heaven. We had to have the greatest podcast of all time. And I even superimposed, you remember, I superimposed Kelly Ripa's head. Like I took it off, put your head on, and I put my head on.
I need to go back and look.
And I sent it out, and I was like, man, this is you know when you talk about like your big break, Jaimie? I was like, this is gonna be, this is gonna overtake. This was before Travis Kelce and his brother were doing theirs. This was early on. I was like, man, this is the rocket ship. We're gonna sell it to Netflix. We're gonna go to the moon. And then I got the bubbles.
You got the bubbles.
And then I just got nothing. Nothing. I had created the graphic. It was Jaimie and Kelly. I even put your name first. I put your
gotta
name.
find it.
I put your name first on it because I wanted to honor you. And you know what happened? No response.
Nada.
No response.
Oh, I'm so sorry I gave you the bubbles.
But tell me about the podcast because that was a really cool project. It was a super cool project.
Yes. That honestly, like, I was so devastated, obviously, for what was happening to our family. But also, honestly, selfishly, I was devastated because I finally had something for myself, right? Yeah, my kids were taken care of. I had something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And Abby, who you met,
Yeah.
my co-host, we gelled. We loved it. We had so much fun doing that.
I think she would have been
and-
the second best co-host for you of all time. Second best, Jaimie. And I remember I was watching. I was like, how? Because I had you both on the podcast, you and Abby on the podcast.
Yes.
And I'm not a jealous guy. I'm not. Like my wife knows this. I do have some Mexican to me, so I got a little something in me. But I tell you, and when I met Abby, I was sizing her up. I was like, Well, what does Abby
Oh
bring
my
in
God.
that? What does Abby bring in that? Did she make Jaimie a
That's
graphic?
hilarious.
Did she make Jaimie a graphic? Did she superimpose a head? Did she come up
I
with a
cannot wait
whole?
to find this.
Did she come? Did she come up with a whole thought process on how this thing was going to grow to this big, huge, and then it was going to go
Oh my
Netflix, and then
God.
we're going to have a tour, and we're going to have a live tour like
Hey,
Smartless.
I have all the time in the world now.
Hey, I'm telling you, I've got. Hey, and I'm serious about this. Like, I tell you what, I mean, who would be a better co-host? Come on. Okay, but go back to Abby, the second best co-host of all time for Jaimie.
Yeah.
Abby.
Sweet Abby. Yeah, it was funny. We interviewed a few people, and um there was just something about her that I'm like, was so awesome. So I don't know if you ever heard of Nashville Guru.
Yeah.
So her and her husband founded it. It was the first blog Nashville that they had, right? And so we were like, what better thing to bring somebody on that knows Nashville and is from here, and we just we just clicked. Oh, so this was actually funny. So the way I wanted to test her out, and I was like, we were sitting at Restoration Hardware, and I told the producer, I was like, I'm gonna get a Bellini. I'm gonna see if she gets one too. Sure enough, I was like, I'll have a Bellini, and she was like, oh, I'll have one too, and I'm like, yep. That's my girl. But we did. We had a blast. We joke about it now, saying that we want to do it again. But since then, she's had another baby. She started another company. She's just, in fact, the day John was let go, this is the reason why we were talking, because he called me. He was like, "What are you doing today?" And I was like, "Well, I have a photo shoot at the office." I was like, "So I'll probably see you." And he was like, "Okay." And so I had to call Abby that day. She was probably the second person who knew. And I was like, "Listen," I was like, "this photo shoot is not going to happen." And I told her, and she was like, "Well, I was going to tell you on the way that I'm pregnant." I'm like, "What?"
See, I mean,
So
Abby not taking care of her responsibilities. She went ahead and committed. That's why we said she committed, and then she didn't hold up her end of the bargain. I mean, having a baby and all, you know what I mean? And for the record, that other co-host that had pitched and had the whole thing set out, he would have never taken maternity leave.
Man,
You
that's fun.
No, you guys
I
had
mean,
you
you
guys
have
had so much fun.
700
Seven,
episodes?
yeah, 744.
So I know whenever you asked me to come back on, I had to go and get on the schedule, and that was a couple months ago.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
busy.
It's been fun. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. And I have to thank you guys because it's third-party credibility, right? And I want you to know that when I was reaching out to Eddie George for 3.5 years, solid 3.5, it was
I love
solid.
that story.
And what happened is, okay, so you know Kevin Dyson too.
Yes.
So Kevin, I love me some Kevin, but he came up a yard short for me against my brother's Rams in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So I have never heard the end of this. Since 1999, Jaimie, my brother's a Rams fan. And since 1999, every so often he just sends me a little meme, you know, whatever it is. And then he bought me, which I thought he was like, oh, I thought he knew that I loved it. He knows that I love the Titans because I'm the most irrational fan of all time. But he sent me the 1999 AFC Championship Super Bowl Titan shirt. And I was like, man, that's so thoughtful. And then he showed up to my house in the same one that was Rams. And,
oh my gosh. That's
and he
funny.
digs it in. So I connected with Kevin. Kevin was on the show. And then for 3.5 years, I would send Eddie videos. Hey, Eddie, my name is Kelly Cardenas. You don't know me, but I had John and Jaimie on the podcast. I would love to have you. You guys started this whole thing. You guys created the third-party credibility, and it has been, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been amazing to be able to have, you guys, all the NFL people that I've had, I would say, track back to you and John.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So Brad Johnson,
I think so.
quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers.
Oh, for sure.
Really cool dude. And I reached out to him, and then now we stay in touch because both his sons play and are at the Tar Heels with your daughter. Like they play on the
Oh, do they?
yeah
No kidding.
yeah.
I
So
wonder if John knows that.
it was the only brother duo I'm wanting to say that the brother threw a touchdown to the brother in one of the games this year.
No way.
One of the brothers plays tight end, and the other one, he wasn't supposed to come back. It's a miracle story. I believe he broke his femur,
Yes.
and then
I know who
he
you're
ended
talking
up
about now.
coming back, and that's Brad Johnson's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about now because I want to say we were at the game he came back because we go to a couple of games a year.
Yeah.
And now with Bill, John knows quite a few of the people there.
Well, didn't Bill's girlfriend and Taylor grow up together? I'm just joking.
Hey, there's not much age difference.
I'm just joking with you. I'm joking, but I'm not. But
Oh man,
how cool was the podcast for you? Did you have a good time? I mean, as far as
I
the one when you were
seriously
doing
loved
yours.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really loved it. I really felt like I said, it was something for me, but obviously I'm a little bit more comfortable now in front of the camera.
Is that what you were waiting for with my pitch, Jaimie? Was that what it was? Where you were
Yes.
like, no, you know what?
I had
I'm
to
not
make
that
sure I didn't
comfortable."
embarrass you.
You know what I mean? I can't wait for the I've got to find the graphic too because I was so excited, but I was nervous too because, I have a massive amount of respect for you. I have a massive amount of respect for John. And when I sent it out, it was so funny. Have you ever had a joke that's funny in your mind, and then
Yes.
you put it out, and you're like, and then there was no response, and I was like, oh my gosh, did I sound like such an idiot? Like, am I an idiot? Is it? And I don't know, have you played this in your head where you sent a message or you did something and then you're like, you run through every scenario in your head. Did they not like me? Did I say something wrong? Did I do this? And
Oh my gosh. Yes.
it's been like 4 years of therapy that I've had to go through, Jaimie, because
Stop.
of that particular text. But you were about
You
to
know
tell me a
what?
story about it. So tell me a story about sometime when you did that.
You saying this is reminding me of what we talked about a little while ago. You need to read the book by Mel Robbins. Let them. You could have used that scenario on me. Just let her go.
How impactful was Mel Robbins' book on you?
Oh my gosh. I can't. If she was here now, I would give her such a big hug. I mean, my mom said something to me yesterday that was absolutely amazing and kind of took my breath away a little bit. I was at her house. She's leaving to go see my sister for Christmas. So we were exchanging gifts and whatnot. And we were having coffee and she was like, she said, Jaimie, all these years since, what happened to y'all happened, she was like, I think people forgot about you. And I was like, what? And she was like, everybody is so worried, rightfully so, about John, but you went through a lot. And I was like, Mom. And she said, I forgot how she put it. She was like, and you wouldn't talk about it. And I sat back for a second. I was like, you're right. I was like, I wouldn't talk about it except with my therapist, my weekly therapist. That's another whole story that God put her in my world. And so she was like, you wouldn't even talk to me. And she was hurt, rightfully so. I want to tell my mom everything. And I told her, I said, Mom, I was like, number one, you don't realize you're in something until you're out of it, right? Like, I didn't realize how painful things were for me until I'm not in pain anymore. And I was like, and the other thing is, I didn't want to talk about it because it brought me down. And it's the kind of that saying, you fake it till you make it, you know? I didn't want people to worry about me. I didn't want people to think I was hurting. I didn't want my husband to think I was hurting as much as what I was. So I only talked about it with my therapist. And it brought me to tears that my mom said that. It was just yesterday she said that. And so going to Mel Robbins, like a friend of mine, two friends of mine years ago was like, Jaimie, you need to start reading this book because I'm a perfectionist. I'm a people pleaser. I'm all the things that Mel Robbins talks about in this book. And I was in so much pain because if I would text somebody and all I saw was bubbles, I'm like, what did I do? What did I say? Did I react negatively to them at one point, you know? And you just sit there and you have fake conversations with yourself, right? And so my friends were like, you need to read this book. Well, I'm a huge book reader, but I only read fiction and some biographies. So I'm like, no, I'm not reading a self-help. I'll fall asleep. I'm not doing that. Well, a couple of months ago, I went through a smidge of something else, and where I was talking to myself again, you know, about what did I do? Why do I do this and let this person upset me so much? And so those same two friends said, will you please pick up Mel Robins's book? So I'm like, okay, I finally will. So I did. In the meantime, Taylor was going through a little something. And at this point, I had just read first chapter and I was like, whoa, everything she is saying is pertaining to Taylor. So I'm calling Taylor, you got to pick up this book. And with her being a psych major, I'm like, dude, you're going to love it. You need this. So I ended up also buying the physical book as well as doing audio. And I had the physical book in my kitchen. Next thing I know, John comes to me and he was like, what is that book? And he was like, I just read the back of it. I think I need to read it. And so he's starting to read it now. Oh my gosh. Wait. Hello. You want some pub for Mel Robbins?
Well, raise it up a little. There we go.
Let them. Come on, Mel. You got to be on this podcast next.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we do this, Jaimie? Seriously. We just need to reach out to Mel. So I'll reach out to her today.
Okay.
But let's co-host and do an episode with Mel Robbins.
Oh my gosh. That would be so incredible.
So I think we find out wherever she is. And I'm sure, I don't know where she lives, but I can find out. But we find out where she lives and then we just go to her. So to have it live and in person and be able to tell your story with her.
How incredible.
Right?
That would be, and listen, it's in this book it's for different stages in your life. Mm-hmm. You know, like the part, Taylor's probably won't watch this, so she won't kill me, but it was about dating. And she was going through something with dating. And yeah, and I'm reading this and I'm like, I sent her a screenshot. I was like, read this right now. And so she started listening to it on her way home for Christmas recently, because she had an 8-hour drive. And she's like, Mom, she would turn it off and then call her roommate, who is incredible and gives the best advice to Taylor about dating. She was like, Mom, this is insane. I'm like, just wait till chapter 18. You're going to love it when you get there. And I need you to listen to everything she's saying.
Yes. So since Taylor isn't going to listen, what was the boy's name?
Oh, gosh. I know it, but I'm scared to say it. I can't do it.
Now, how challenging is that as a parent when there's a bonehead, like when there's a bonehead in there, you know, they're doing boneheaded stuff and, you know, obviously a relationship is going to take their course or whatever it is. But I mean, obviously you're a God-fearing woman. I'm a God-fearing man, but there is some times where I just want to choke somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and especially when it comes to silly stuff, silly scenarios, you know what I mean? In a relationship.
Yeah. You know, Taylor's my mini me. She is me through and through. And so when she's doing something or going through something, I'm like, listen, I know it's going through your head and it didn't work out for me. So please just listen to me. But you have to let them make these mistakes, right? And so Bailey said something recently and she was like, Mom, she was like, you and Dad met really young. I was 19 years old whenever I met John. And she's beyond her years, this little one. She was like, I really feel Taylor is comparing herself to you and Dad. And I was like, but she doesn't need to. That was a long time ago. And I lived in a little bitty tiny town. You don't need to do that. But it was, and as much as you can say, Taylor, wait, the time will come. God only knows. You can only say so much, right? And and I don't know. Right now, there could be someone who is being very kind to her,
Okay,
and
good.
I'm trying not to ask too much about it because her wall is up. I'm like, just read Mel. Mel will give you all the answers.
Well,
and I pray she doesn't listen to this.
well, tell me this too, Jaimie, is like the self-help part, right? So you were saying, and you said this even before, you prefaced it when you asked me about Mel Robbins and you said, I don't read self-help books. It's not something I do. What was the wall or the kind of stiff arm, if you will, with the self-help books that you've had? Was it an experience that you had, or was it just something that that it didn't jive with you?
Well, to be honest, Kelly, I didn't do very well in school. I kind of fell asleep through all the lectures and all the things. And so reading self-help reminds me of a textbook. That's all it is. And I tend to start looking elsewhere. And so I started reading it, and that my girlfriends were like, stop reading it. You need to pick up the audiobook
Okay.
because Mel is actually the one who does the audiobook,
Oh,
and
wow.
she's so good. Um, and so that kept me entertained to the point to where Bailey had a soccer game in Knoxville. It's about 4 hours away from here. And I just listened to it all the way there. And I was wide awake, which I had just gotten back from Mexico at 8 o'clock the night before. So I was really nervous I was going to be tired on the drive. But no, I was entertained. But honestly, I do plan on going back and listening to it again because I know I'm missing stuff, you know. Um, but it's that good.
Well, you're an
It really
avid. The
is.
reason why I was asking too is because you're an avid reader. It's great to
Yeah.
watch. I love, but between you and my brother, who you haven't met yet, but I feel like you guys have met through social and all the stuff. But
Mhm.
you guys are constantly posting phenomenal books. That,
Mhm.
but now that I think about it, your books are novels that you're
Yeah,
posting. I've never seen
they're
you
all
do
different.
I've never seen so Mel you should
Yeah.
Mel Robbins should be very honored. She should be honored. She should be begging Jaimie, reaching out to Jaimie. Can I please be interviewed on your co-hosted podcast with the
I love it.
real
It was
co-host with the real.
listen, she can dive in my brain really well right now.
Yes.
But it's good. I will say, like, the whole mental health
Yeah.
therapy, that's huge. I've been going to therapy. So my therapist, she is so amazing. Um, and somebody told me about her because I was like, okay, I used to go years ago when my dad passed away, and then honestly, I life happened and I got too busy, and I was like, I'm fine. I don't need anything. But then I don't know, that one particular fall, that was the fall that I thought John and I needed to go to marriage counseling, right? So I'm like, I need somebody to help me with my husband without my husband being here. I need patience, you know? And somebody told me about this therapist, and I went and saw her 1 week. Um, and then the following week, John was let go.
Uh,
And she calls me and she was like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm ready to see you next week." And I see her every other week since then. She's amazing. She really is.
what are the raw emotions that you go through when you go through something like that? Like, the reason why I ask is because I have a woman that I have a friend who her husband found out about a case that this guy had been convicted of double murder. So it was 11 years after he got convicted. He started working on the case pro bono. He was working for the LAPD. He was actually working for Simi Valley Police Department at the time. He started working on it for Jaimie 28 years.
Oh,
This guy
boy.
worked pro bono on this case. The police department, Simi Valley Police Department, came to him and said, if you continue on down this road, because they knew that there was corruption, if you continue on down this road, it's not going to be good for you and you're going to lose your job. Because it was the right thing to do, he continued on. And for 28 years, he worked pro bono. After 39 years in prison, he got this guy completely exonerated and got him out of prison. He was,
Whoa, wow.
to that time, he was the longest that had ever been wrongly accused and been imprisoned. He was in prison 2 years longer than Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
So I'm saying this all to say that the night that he gets out, after 39 years, he was 31 when he went in, 70 when he got out.
Mm-hmm.
The night that he got out, he had nothing. They got him a cab, and he went right from, I believe it was San Quentin, directly to my friend's house that's in my neighborhood.
Wow.
But here was my question to the wife. Tell me what you were feeling, because obviously this is a feel-good story, but from a wife's perspective, you're just about to have a guy who was indoctrinated in the penitentiary system for 39 years. That night he got out, he took a cab, and he ended up the night before Thanksgiving at their house.
Wow.
So most of the time they're talking to my friend, his name is Mike Bender, talking to him about the case, talking to him about all these things. How did you go through? How did you get him off? All these things. But they're not talking to Cynthia, the wife, who's just about to have this man who lived for 39 years in prison, in different prisons, in your house.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I'm asking you, like, what were the things that you as Jaimie dealt with?
I mean, we had to adjust. I mean, for sure. I spent, 20 years. I think we were married 20 years at that point, with a husband who wasn't here a lot, and when he was here, his brain wasn't here. His brain was still at the office, as much as he tried. And I was very grateful and very blessed that he trusted me enough to raise our girls, raise our dogs, and deal with the house. But I'll tell you, Kelly, it was an adjustment, because now all of a sudden I have another human in the house 24/7 with me. I really feel, I still feel that that's why we're still in the honeymoon phase again. Because, okay, when we first started dating, again, I was 19 years old and he was 24. He was in charge of the dorms at Nicholls State, where I went to school, and I was his little bartender. And so when I figured out that we were actually getting kind of serious, I actually moved back home, which was 45 minutes away, because I was not making any money. And I was like, if we eventually get married, like, I need to save money. But that still didn't happen because I had to get a car. But anyway, that's besides the point. All that to say is, even when we were dating, we were never around each other a lot, because at the time he was coaching and he was like at the bottom level of like the coaching staff. So he's the one that had to do all the film for the scouts that came in. He had to do all the dirty work. And so I never ever saw him, and honestly, there was no such thing as sleeping at the boyfriend's house. So that never happened, you know? And then we get married and he's scouting. So there he goes. He's just constantly been away. So that is probably one of the most common questions people ask me is, how did you manage having John home all the time? Number one, it's been great because he loves to cook. So I haven't cooked but maybe 5 years of 5 meals in 4 years. So that's been amazing. Um, but we have really gotten to know each other again, and it's been fun. And it just proves to us that when we were that young and we fell in love, that we actually fell in love. You know, that this is definitely the long haul. So yeah, that's the most common question I get.
What's some of the thoughts that you had that you couldn't express? You know what I'm saying? Like I just said to you that, you know, say when my daughter was going through some challenges with a boy, which
Yeah.
was just recently, and I heard some of the stuff, I literally, like, I can't say it. Well, I'm gonna say it now, but I wanted to choke somebody, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were there things that you wanted to say that, or that you were thinking that you couldn't?
Yeah, I mean, watching him hurt,
Mhm.
the pain he went through, mentally, and I mean, when you're not in that job anymore, there are many people that don't call you anymore, right? And just seeing him hurt um, was very painful for me. But never wanted to express that. I always wanted to be positive and just stay positive for him. That way, I was waiting for that crash. I was waiting for him just to go into a spiral. But honestly, Kelly, he was so exhausted that it almost happened at a good time. I hate to say it because you don't want to say something like that happened at a good time. But I don't know. I just tried to stay positive with him as much as possible. Um, so yeah, there really wasn't one specific thing that I just didn't want to say other than, hey, maybe this is it. Hey, you want to go to therapy?
Well, that's become such a um an easier word to say now than I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I'm quite a bit older than you, Jaimie, so you have to respect me. But but growing up, and I'm sure that you guys, people weren't talking about mental health. They weren't talking about therapy. That wasn't a common
Yeah.
theme. Like,
No.
you know, my dad was like, "I'll cure your ADD," which he didn't even know what it was, but he was like, "I'll cure it just by smacking you upside the head." You know what I mean? Like that's how my pop was, you know,
Yeah.
as a dad early on. But that therapy thing is, you know, how important is it?
It truly is. I mean, there was one point to where, like, so he's my best friend. I'm his best friend. I'm his go-to when he wants to talk, and he knows, obviously, what stays with me stays with me. But there was one point that I did have to say, baby, there's only so much I can do, and so much I can say to help you. And he was like, this was a couple years ago, and he was like, you were so right. And he respects my opinion, and he respects me whenever I say stuff like that. So I think the hardest thing was to understand my mental health and be okay to say, hey, listen, I'm struggling as well, because I finally did have to say that. And he's just so respectful. Um, but he's doing great. His mental health is great. Um, yeah, he's doing really good.
Where is you guys' favorite place right now to go to dinner in Nashville?
Ooh, it's something that was so cool that we did. So one of the things JH Ranch, they advise you and they challenge you to do is to go on a weekly date.
Okay.
So we did that forever because I mean, we had the time. So I made a glass jar of all the restaurants in Nashville, and you know that there's so many. I mean, you should see the glass jar. I'm staring at it right now. But we would pull out a piece of paper every week, and these are all the restaurants we've never been to. So we were doing that weekly. But lately, because that started getting a lot, and to be honest, when you get older, you realize you don't want to get dressed and put makeup on to go to dinner. You just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So this fall, we started going in 12 South. Have you ever heard of 12 South?
I
It's
haven't.
it's a you know the Gulch.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's right down the street from the Gulch.
Okay.
It's just another little small community in Nashville
Uh-huh.
that have all kind of restaurants and shops, and it's amazing, and it's very close to where we live now. So we started every Friday going probably about 2 o'clock and going to an early dinner. And that way we can stay in our sweats if we want, you know? And so we every Friday, and we just hop to the different restaurants. So I can't say we have a favorite,
Uh-huh.
so to speak, but 12 South is our favorite community. I'll tell you that.
What have you been to the restaurant that's by the? I keep forgetting the name. It's right by the airport, and it's like um, it's on the back side of the airport because my buddy Dale has taken me there a couple of times. It's I'm wanting. It's like an old house, like a big, huge
Is it
estate.
yellow?
Was it?
Is it yellow?
Yes.
They just tore it down.
What?
Yeah, they're expanding the airport. Yeah, they're
It
the
was the. It was.
DNA.
What was the? What
It
was the
was
restaurant called? Because you would go and you would sit with other people
yeah,
at the table, and you would have to put your phone away.
yeah,
You don't order. They bring you biscuits, gravy, the whole nine, and you just pass it around. It's like a family dinner, but just
yeah.
with.
It was a big, huge yellow house, right? And they do catering. They did all. It was a Nashville staple. Yeah, it's no longer there.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, within the past year, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
was
know.
just telling someone about that because they asked me about. Nashville, and I used to be there every week. I used to be in Nashville every week,
Hmm.
another life ago. Um, but when I would, and then when I would go and teach out there, then they would take me to that restaurant. I can't believe that one got torn down.
It's so many. It's kind of sad what's happening over here.
Really?
Like even us, we've lived here for 10 years now, and the difference is insane.
Yeah.
The amount of people, um, I don't know. That's why I don't have a favorite restaurant because there's so many we haven't tried. We just keep hopping.
Do you believe in Nashville hot chicken?
I'm gluten free, and being a Cajun, I don't eat spice.
Wait a second, Jaimie. Wait a second. When I remember you saying about the gluten free part. Did you become gluten free? Was it celiac or?
It's a very bad intolerance I've had since I was a teenager.
And no spice as a Cajun? What's up with that, Jaimie?
No spices.
Nothing.
My sister and my dad love Tabasco. I mean, my dad used to bring the Tabasco to my house because I never had it. But I don't do spice.
Really?
Nope.
Does John do
Mm-mm.
spice?
Um, he will, but it's not like my dad used to seriously any meal he would have the Tabasco and just
Over the top.
douse anything,
You know
everything.
what was wild to me is when I found out that, because I growing up in a Mexican household, and
Hmm.
Tabasco was a staple, but I think as Mexican people, we claimed it. We were like, oh, that. And then I found out that it had nothing to do with the Mexican culture at all. It was all you.
The Tabasco farm is right down the bayou from where I grew up.
Really.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like that was like a very tough thing in my life when I found that out because it's McIlney or something like that, isn't it? It's on the bottle, I know. That's the family or something like that that made Tabasco
I
in the
don't
first
even
place.
remember.
Yeah.
I actually met her in Nashville. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember where, but yeah, I met the like heir of Tabasco when we were here.
Really?
Hmm.
Well, the reason why I was asking
Yeah.
about Nashville hot chicken is because that's something like that. It kind of almost popped on the scene. You know, I lived in Memphis in 95 to 97 or 94. It was like 94 to 97. And I remember that. I wonder if Nashville hot chicken was a marketing thing because I don't remember it being a big thing. And then it became a big thing. And now it's like everywhere.
It is everywhere. Hattie B's, just everywhere. Yeah. No, I never had it.
What's the
And
coolest?
John doesn't tend to eat it.
He doesn't. What's the coolest place? What's the coolest place in Nashville that a person that doesn't live in Nashville that's visiting? Because when you go, when people visit, then they go to the normal places. You know what I'm saying? They go
Yeah.
to Tootsie's or they go if you're a tourist. But living in
Yeah.
Nashville, what are some of those things that it's like you would never know unless you knew Jaimie and she told you to go to Nashville, this place?
Oh, goodness. So, ironically, we don't really do Nashville. We never have because people recognize
That
them.
makes sense.
Yeah. So we never, and honestly, the comfort of your own home, like John, like even now going to restaurants and going to galas or anything like that, he still has to put on this face, you know.
Yeah.
So, but we never have. I've never really done Nashville like a
Really?
tourist.
So when we interview Mel, do you think we should do it at her where she's at, or should we do it in Nashville?
Maybe in Nashville.
I think that would be kind of cool. We need to find like a staple place in Nashville that would be kind of cool.
We belong to this club. I'm looking up her book right now. Where does it say she lives? It doesn't say.
Hold on, let me find out where she lives. I'm gonna find out right now. Also, too, do you remember what is it? You know where we should interview her? This would be
At that.
amazing.
Yep. I know what you're about to say. Yeah.
Analog.
That place is insane.
What's that?
I love it. Now that's a hidden secret. What is it? It's in.
It's
Yeah.
what hotel? That's where I met you.
It is. It starts with an H, doesn't it?
I think so.
It's on the West End. The Hutton.
It is. Could it be
I think
that?
it's the Hutton.
Live.
And then, look at us.
Mel Robbins and her
this-
family live in Vermont,
Ooh.
the Boston area.
Ooh.
Oh, hold on. Having moved from the Boston area, so she lives in Vermont. Where is Vermont near? I'm not good on the East Coast. Is that near where you guys? Is it near New England? Like, or is it near Boston?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. If I'm not mistaken, that's because we did a tour of the Northeast when we lived there, and I want to say it's right next to New York, right?
Yeah.
Oh God, we're showing.
I know. This is. I tell you, people.
This is bad.
Jaimie, people are gonna they're gonna be having their kids not check it out. My daughter did get mad at me this morning.
So bad.
I said to my daughter, I said, your handwriting, because her handwriting is absolutely beautiful. McKenna's handwriting is not like the art that my pop said that mine was because he was trying to make me feel better about myself. It's like hers is true, like beautiful. And I said to her, I said, your handwriting is so amazing. And she just looked at me and she was like, I get so angry at bad penmanship. And I was like, I felt like she was convicting me because mine looks like a doctor. You know, let's see. So Vermont. Okay. This is so funny that we're looking up on a. I just had to look on a map to find it. Let's see. New Hampshire is right next door. Massachusetts is down into the
So bad.
to the east. It's southeast. Massachusetts is. So Boston is southeast of Vermont. So
Okay.
and then where's New York City? So New York City is there. What if we interviewed her in New York?
Oh my gosh. That would be amazing. I love New York. Taylor's there right now.
What's she doing there right now? Is it just a church group and singing hymns and Kool-Aid? And
Yeah, at Nobu.
I, I didn't know that, I didn't know that they served Kool-Aid at Nobu. That's amazing. This is going to be great.
Lychee
Lychee
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Yes. Yes. How long is she there?
No, she's so one of her friends, in fact, one of her best friends, and her family also come to Honduras with us. Um, she was at Pepperdine last year,
Yeah.
and then she was part of the fires. Like
Oh,
she was in the
wow.
library when the fires were all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really bad. So she no longer wants to be in California. So she got accepted into NYU
Mm,
the second semester. So she had to go study abroad in London first
okay.
this past semester.
Yeah.
And so this week she was moving into her apartment, and her sweet mama found out last week she had to have hip replacement surgery. So she called Taylor and she was like, I need help because Lila's an only child. And like, she's like, I need help, Taylor. Can you go to New York and go help Lila move in? So Taylor, she was supposed to get her wisdom teeth out today. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to New York.
That's amazing. You know, McKenna,
Yeah.
the reason I was asking about New York too is McKenna just got accepted to Vogue Summer School in New York this summer.
Wow.
So she's going to go out, and but don't get too excited, Jaimie, because she's going to be 17 years old by herself in the city.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
Is it a dorm situation?
It is a dorm. So she's not going to be by herself. She's going to be in the dorm. She's going
Yeah.
to be at school and stuff like that. But she doesn't listen to the podcast, so I'm going to say this. I'm most likely going to just get an Airbnb or go and because I'm going to go and stay in a hotel for 10 days and just be in the city, but I'll turn off my location services on my phone so she won't
Yeah.
know that Dad's there.
Just in case.
But just in case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that's
Did you
do you
say
think that's
road?
overbearing? Do you think that's overbearing?
No. I well, I don't know, Kelly. Like you at some point you have to let them know that you trust them.
Are you going back to Mel
You know?
Robbins here? Are you trying to Mel Robbins me with let
No,
them?
I'm going to JH Ranch. This is the stuff, John. Oh, I wish he was. This is okay. When he gets on the podcast, we'll talk about this.
Okay.
It's something to do with the kids of you have to cop them. You have to, what was it? Cop them when they're younger, advise them. I don't know. There's like 3 different things. And so like once you get to where they're like 17, 18, that's when you just advise them,
Mm.
right? So Taylor wanted to do, she's getting home from New York today, and then tomorrow she wanted to go to Ole Miss to go to the Ole Miss bowl game with one of her friends. And so she texted us, and I immediately went, no. Because you have to remember, she just got home from school last Saturday, and left for New York on Sunday. So I'm like, absolutely not. I want to see you. But John's response to it was pretty much, these are the reasons why I would say no. But you're an adult. You have to make this decision. And if you can afford to go to Oxford and you really want to pay for this, this is your decision. You're an adult. So a little while later, she goes, yeah, I heard everything you just said. I think I'm staying home.
Really? Oh, I thought it was
You know,
going
so-
I was prepared for it going the other way.
Nope.
Wow.
No. Yeah. So it's in her hands, right?
Yeah.
And so it's been like that. And I'm telling you, their relationship, ever since they got back from JH Ranch, I'm so proud of John. I'm so proud of John because he's stern, and he, like he said, he understands that he wasn't around to parent the kids, and he knows it was hard for the kids. Now, all of a sudden, he's trying to parent them, and he parents a little bit different than I do.
Yeah.
along the same lines, but a little bit different at the same time. He's just very no is no, and that's it. Don't
Yeah.
question me. Whereas I was brought up that way, so I actually allow the kids to question me and to talk to me about it because I remember being told no, and that's it. You can't ask me about it. And
The
so
because I said so thing, right?
it's because I said so,
Yeah.
and I'm older, so I know more. We still say that sometimes.
So, what so you're saying to me that I should make my own decision with this stuff, but in your head is this overbearing with me wanting to get a hotel and be secretly in the city?
I don't know, because at 17 in the city, like, is there going to be guardians around there?
I'm sure. I hope so. Well, I've got the thing that she doesn't know is I've got a lot of friends. Like I've started to do a lot of work in the hospitality industry, and so I have a lot of friends that are in that industry in that city, and so they're like, well, you've got Uncle Michael and
Yeah.
Aunt Marcy, and then that she could call, but she's never gonna call them. She doesn't know them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But
I think if you choose to do this, you can't hide that from her
I got to tell her.
because that's a trust thing.
Yeah.
If you hide it from her, I think you need to tell her.
I think my wife thinks
I
I'm
do.
crazy too for doing it. My wife is going to
I
take
mean,
her. They go every year like a girls trip, and they go to New York and
see,
do their thing, which is awesome.
that's it too. She's comfortable. She's comfortable there.
Yeah.
Like I had no issues. Granted, Taylor's 20, so I know that's a big difference. But this summer, John was on Good Morning Football,
Uh-huh.
and he took the girls because I was in New Zealand with my mom, and he took the girls. And while he was on the show, the girls went and just walked around. They felt so comfortable because we've been so many times. It's just, and it sounds like she goes a lot, so I think she'll be
Yeah.
fine.
She's
I
she's
do.
gonna have a ball. She's so excited about it. She wants to live. I mean, this is the kind of test pilot, but she wants to go to college in New York. And
Ah,
so,
that's
you know,
awesome.
it would be I want to support her in every single thing that she does. I mean, as a dad, I was like, well, why don't we just move together? And you know what I mean? She's like, Dad, you are not moving with me to college. I was like, but we made a deal back in the day when you were 4.
No.
You know what I mean? When you were 4, I got you to
Yeah.
agree. Cause at 4, she
We
was like, yes,
yeah.
Daddy, that would be amazing.
We do tease the kids. Like Bailey wants to go to Auburn, and there's an amazing lake over there. I'm like, hey, maybe we can find a house on Lake Martin. We don't have to be in Nashville now that you're graduated. Granted, my mom's here. I don't want to move my mom again,
Yeah.
but I'm like, we can get a lake house and sell the house we're in Nashville. And she's like, absolutely not. Or Chapel Hill. We love Chapel Hill. And so we tease them all the time about moving near them. But yeah, and that's hard because I know Taylor forever wanted to go to Stanford or go to UCLA. Those were
Yeah.
her two. Um, and for a while, like I didn't want to tell her no. I mean, even though we're way over here, my biggest thing is with her with diabetes, I want her to know that she can do everything else everybody else can do.
Yeah.
But it's just so far for us. She actually got into USC. Um, but she found out she got into UNC first, and I want to say she accepted it before she found out about USC.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, thank God.
Yes. Well, and it's not that far from you guys, right? I mean, you said an 8-hour drive is the
8 hours.
8
It's
hours.
not bad.
Okay.
The flight is an hour, and the drive from the airport to Chapel Hill is 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It's so perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. So that was something we stressed to her, when we went and visited the schools. It was like, you have to pay attention on the location. And like Auburn, I mean, you have to drive. It's like a 6-hour drive. And the flight, you would fly into Atlanta and then still drive 2 hours. So it defeats the purpose of flying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a little bit different. If we had our choice, she'll go to Belmont.
I know.
He's our baby.
Well, I was trying to tell, McKenna, I was like, there's some great places, they're close to the house and all this stuff. But I wanted to have the college experience, you know.
Yeah, you
I
tell
wanted
me
to be
or
able to have that. And she's really, McKenna's super, very, very independent. She just keeps telling us, like, oh, we keep asking her, where do you want to go to college? She's like, anywhere where you guys aren't at. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just like independent in that way. She loves us. Don't get us wrong. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But
She's a junior, right?
she is a junior. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did you
Girls
have
are
a
the same?
did you have a challenge when Bailey? Because Bailey's driving now.
Yep.
Did you have a challenge when either of them started driving? As far not a challenge as far as mad, but just like, was it unsettling at first for you?
Um, I will say for Taylor, I don't know if it's because she was my first.
Yeah.
But that was a little bit unsettling. We also had to go through a period of this is your curfew, and you're 5 minutes late. Give me your keys, and her be like 5 minutes late. I'm like, nope. You're gonna learn not to be 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
So that only happened once,
Okay.
right when she got her license. I will say I feel more comfortable to this day driving with Bailey than I do with Taylor. It's so funny. Bailey's such a great little driver.
Yeah.
Taylor is just so la la land, let me do this with the radio and but yeah. No, they're good little drivers. They are. Taylor got a misdemeanor though at school because she was going 60 and a 30.
Oh, okay. All right. She just had to get to
Her little
class.
butt got in trouble.
Yeah. Well, she was probably on her way to get the Kool-Aid and the hymns, the hymn book to sing with the kids.
She was on her way to the airport to head to Ole Miss to see her friends. Let's just say she missed the flight.
She did miss the flight.
She missed the
Oh,
flight.
that's like the worst thing. That's the have you missed a flight lately?
No.
I missed one, Jaimie. I was sitting in the airport and I was death scrolling and I was 10 feet from the place, but I had my headphones in. So, and I was tuned out. I only had one in, but I was tuned out and I was on my way home from a trip and I had, it was like, it was a longer trip or whatever. And I was 10 feet from the door and I'm just scrolling, look up and flight is gone.
Oh my gosh.
That's what
that happened.
what TikTok will do.
I don't know if you know, but my mom's from New Zealand. And so her brother was flying from New Zealand to come and see her in Texas when she lived there. And he fell asleep at his gate to bring him to, I can't remember if they were living in New Orleans or Texas at the time. But anyway, he missed the second flight because he was sleeping. And he had to wait another day to catch another flight.
Has Mama loved being in Nashville?
Oh, she loves it.
Yeah.
She loves it. When my father passed 8 years ago, it just, to give her a little change, a little something different. And at the time, I mean, obviously we were with the Titans. So I was like, okay, I can get her out of the house. And because they lived in a little bitty community in Texas to where she didn't have any friends there. Well, I guess her neighbors. I don't want to say she doesn't have friends. She's going to hear this and then kill me. So then, so we brought her to Nashville because we thought, going to the games and we thought, let's give her a different scenery. And since then, she now lives about 30 minutes away in a 55 plus community. We moved her out there a couple years ago, and she has all these clubs, and she went to trivia night the other night. She plays dominoes. She's busy. She loves it though. It's fun. Yeah, she's doing really good.
You guys' city, honestly, like when you were talking about the growth of it is unbelievable. It's I mean, to see it. I haven't let's see, the last time I came was when I saw you and John. But I mean,
that
it was
what, 2 years ago?
Was it 2? I think it was 2 years ago.
It was a while.
Yeah. But it was interesting too. Is there any other besides Mel Robbins? Who's the other one that you would want? Like, if we could just go get somebody, who would you want to sit down with?
Ooh,
Because we can
I'm
get them.
looking at all my
Because
books.
we
Are
can
we
get them.
talking authors?
No, I'm talking anybody. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm telling you, this is one that I'm gonna get. Like, he doesn't know yet, but I'm gonna get is Jelly Roll because.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because Jelly Roll liked something, and it's not him. It's probably his people or whatever it was. But he liked
No, I
something
bet
on.
it's him.
Well, he liked
I'm
something on my
serious.
social. This was probably about 6 months ago or something like that. And I was just really excited. I just think his story is cool. I think and he's a Titans fan, so
Yeah.
and you and John are going to bring us back to prominence. I know at some point. Well, you guys just need to be like just they just need to hire you and just keep you on as consultant because honestly, like I have you got to understand, Jaimie. You got to understand. I don't think you can see it in the background. Can you see the? No, you can't see it. So
Oh, I
there's
see the footballs.
okay,
Oh,
but
that's my footballs. I'm looking up
you're
here.
looking up there. You're looking at your own stuff, Jaimie.
I'm looking at my own screen.
We need to go to therapy. We need to go to another therapy, and this is not about you, Jaimie.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, wow, you have the same footballs as me.
But in the back off to the side, I got the original Oilers helmet, and then there's a hold on, let me grab this one. I'll show you. So
Yeah.
there's the that was the Earl Campbell.
The throwback has always been my favorite. I love the Oilers throwback.
They should bring it back.
But my favorite is your jacket that you have. That's a sweet jacket.
The one with the red sleeves.
Yes.
Yes, the Oilers.
So good.
But the reason I'm saying is because since I've been 6, I've been a fan, right? And I have never been through what I'm going through right now. So we just need. I'm just gonna have to make an executive decision and bring back the championship culture of Jaimie and John. You know what I mean? That's where we need to be.
I will say I miss it. The one thing that I struggled with, and I still do. I mean, not as much now, obviously, but is being around all the women and the wives. That there's nothing. So when we were at JH, John got to really understand what I went through. Not JH, Scott River Lodge.
Yeah.
What I went through and how I felt. And he really heard me. And he was like, different things about all the things I used to do with the wives. Like I had a job, I had an unpaid job. And it was so much fun. But these women, they get pushed off to the side. Not every GM or GM's wife does it the way I did it. But if you have a happy wife, your husband's going to be happy, right? And the community, this is a community, and us wives, we got pushed off to the side a lot, and we got pushed off, with the kids, and it was such a neat little community that we had, and I miss that so much. But I'm not gonna lie, Kelly, retired life is great. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until it was all over. Yeah, both of us, we were both like we were exhausted.
Well, I was exhausted watching, right? So I mean, watching from a distance and seeing the things that you guys were doing with from the galas that you were doing to the all the different aspects of it. I want to come back though to this is who's your I said Jelly Roll. He's not. I mean, he's not my number one, but I want to have him on the podcast. This guy is unbelievable. Well, who would you want? Who would you want?
I'm not gonna lie. I love Jelly Roll, and I love his wife. I follow his wife on social media, and I'm like, this sucks. If we were still with the Titans, I would know them. I don't know. I love their story.
Okay.
I love how they give back. I bet they do way more behind the scenes than what they show in front of the scenes.
Yeah.
Um, I just, I, I love stories like that. I
Yeah.
really, truly do. And I don't know. I'm excited for them as a couple. And I don't know. I think that would be cool.
That one would be a cool one. Is there a childhood one? Like for me, I always wanted, I think he passed away, but I always wanted Chuck Woolery. Like,
Oh,
you
wow.
remember Chuck Woolery?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
From Love Connection. I'm
Yeah.
one. Didn't he, I think he passed away. Did he pass away?
I don't know.
Let me check
I
because that's
really
very
don't know the
disrespectful.
answer to this.
Like a child, like Ricky
Who?
Schroeder. Did you watch Silver Spoons?
No.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch TV?
Not really.
Not really. That's why you're such a great person. That's why you got such a great heart. My heart is cold inside because I watch so much TV. Is what it is.
No, I really didn't. Um, I've never been one to get starstruck. Ooh, you know who I did get starstruck with once and kind of made a fool out of myself? It was Olivia Newton-John.
Mm. Hey, that's a big one.
Yes, because I was always such a Grease
Yeah.
fan. And it was at this after the CMA Fest, we were at an after party and she was there and she walked past me and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I don't do this to people, but I have to say hello. And she was super nice, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, I
Well,
got starstruck.
well, and not even starstruck, but it's just like wanting to sit down and have a conversation with the people. The only time,
Mad respect. Yeah.
well, like it's funny that you say that about Olivia Newton-John because the only time that because Brooklyn doesn't ever, I mean, she doesn't give two
Yeah.
shits about like
Yeah.
what someone's done, but she met Shaun White, and we were at
Wow.
we were doing a like a installation for a VIP. It was at a music festival, and we were doing an activation for that. And Shaun White was back there, and I know that's her guy. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
I saw him, and I was just like, "Hey, Shaun, you got to meet my wife." And
Yeah.
she was like, and she's never that. Brooklyn's so cool. She was like, "Abba dabba dabba dabba." I was looking at my wife. I was looking at Brooklyn. I was like, what's happening right here? But she's just so enamored, like blown
Yeah.
away by Shaun White. She thinks he's the coolest.
Yeah. That's the one thing about being a celebrity. Not, no, I said that wrong because John was not a celebrity, but
Yes, he was.
being being someone who can make a difference in somebody's life and
Yeah.
be kind and nice. Like we used to do things all the time. And like one time I was in Target and I fell in love with my checkout lady because it was during Christmas. John and I used to adopt families in the Nashville area, and the police officers in Davidson County would bring us to their houses. They would find us a family, and we we just adopted families.
Yeah.
Our it was our Christmas tradition. But anyway, my girls and I were shopping at Target for our family that year, and we got to talking to this lovely lady. She was amazing, and she was just, I mean, because we had like probably about 4 buggies full, so we were there a while. And so at the end of it, I asked her because she had a son, and I was like, have you ever been to a Titans game? And she didn't know who we were, and she was like, no, I can't afford that. And so I'm like, would you be around this Sunday to go to a game? And she looked at me, and then I told her who I was. And John happened to be, because I needed help because I didn't have room in my car for all these gifts. So I had to call John at work to come with his car to come and help me. And so she came out to help, and she got to meet John, and she was just, you know, it's when you're in that position,
Uh-huh.
um, it's how can you not do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I don't get really starstruck by people.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know. I don't know why that. I don't know.
I'm just getting a list for you, Jaimie, because I'm literally like, we're gonna get Mel Robbins. So we're gonna get Mel. We're gonna sit down and have a conversation with her because I think that the let them phenomenon for you, I've heard of I've heard of it, and it's I mean, and it's been tremendous. But I think that it would just be so cool because you're not starstruck, and because of that part, being able to have a real conversation. You know, I did find out that Chuck Woolery did pass away in 24. So
Oh wow.
I did like because people would ask me, they'd be like, "Oh, who do you ultimately want to meet?" And for me, I just wanted to meet people that meant something to me. Like me and my mom used to watch.
Yeah.
We used to watch
Yes.
Love Connection and be like, all the ladies
Yeah.
on Love Connection don't even want to go on the date with a guy. They want to go with Chuck Woolery because he's got that much game. You know what I mean? Like Chuck Woolery had all the game. He was the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh man. Yeah. No, I have to think of my list.
So
I'm stumped right now.
we've got to think. I mean, and they could be as random. Like you know who I got to. No one knows it. Do you know the name Kelly Kulick?
I don't.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
Lesser known fact, but a big one. She's the first woman to compete against a man in the professional bowlers tour and smash him in the biggest event. It was the U.S. Open
Okay.
in bowling, and she beat the dude by like 50 pins.
Wow.
Kelly Kulick. So get this. I'm watching the playoffs, big NFL fan. We're watching the playoffs at the time. We're in Vegas. We got 3 screens because that's what you do when you're single. You put 3 screens up. When Brooklyn moved in, she was like, we're having 1 TV.
Oh, you should see our setup. It's
Is it nine
He has
TVs or what?
we sit in our living room. He has a living room TV, and then diagonally from his seat, we have like a bar area that has a TV on one wall, another TV above the bar, and another TV on our porch. So he has all 4 TVs going at the same time watching football.
I love me some John. I love me some John. Well, we were watching the playoffs, and it was like halftime or something like that. So there's a break. So we were just scrolling, and I scrolled through, and on ESPN, I think it was like 7, the Pro Bowlers Tour, the U.S. Open was on, and I was like, oh man! And everyone that's there at the party is like, why are we watching bowling? But it was a woman competing against a man, and this was before all the stuff, but this was way back, and I see it, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And then I looked where it was, and it was in Vegas. So my buddy runs the casino where it was happening, and I called him and I said, hey, I want to meet her. He says, give me a minute. I said, well, what I'll do, because we had the salons at the time, I said, I'll open up the salon, I'll take care of her hair, and I'll make sure that it's from you.
Oh my gosh.
So I go have the salon open. I call my staff, have the salon open. We put Kingpin on the screens. So, and then we go pick her up, take her, I do her hair. And this is a crazy thing. We're on the way back, and I'm just like, this is the coolest thing because I'm a bowler. I love bowling. I don't know if you John bowl. Do you?
No.
Okay.
We don't.
So I've always loved bowling. And so I take her back to the hotel to drop her off, and she's like, can you wait a second? She comes back, and she brought me the ball that she beat the guy with and gave it to me.
Oh my gosh.
I still have the ball.
That's incredible. See, it's stuff like that like I don't know. That's incredible. Because she could have kept that ball for herself, and
Yeah.
that's so kind.
And I tell you, in bowling alleys across America, not but like the real ones, like the down and dirty, you know what I'm saying? Like not the hip ones. But I went to a bowling alley in Oceanside, California, and I was talking, and one of the guys that sets the pins, and I always wanted that job too, because Jaimie, secretly, I want to own my own bowling alley.
That's awesome.
Because I want to walk down the lane. You can only walk down the lane when you work at the bowling alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy, he walks down the lane, then he comes back and he hands me the ball. And I said, that ball is very special to me. And he said, why? And I said, because Kelly Kulick gave it to me. And he flipped his lid. He was like, Kelly Q, you know Kelly Q. And then he called over the other woman. I think between them, they had like 4 teeth. And he was like, he knows Kelly Q. Like, I was the coolest dude in a bowling alley that had nobody in it at all
my gosh.
because of Kelly
Oh my
Kulik.
gosh.
But I like experiences like that.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to
Yeah.
find some rando person that
Yeah.
we interview.
I'm sitting here trying to think, and I'm looking at all my books, just like what authors maybe, you know. I love me some authors.
We could definitely get authors for you. Oh, you know what? Hey, Jaimie, say hello to McKenna. McKenna's on the phone right now.
Oh, McKenna.
Can she hear you? McKenna, can you hear her?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear her?
Hi, McKenna.
Hello?
I'm sorry. She called in. She's I'll tell her you said hello. But we've got to find some randos. Some random like fun stories, because I think that makes the coolest interviews too. You know what I mean? Hold on for a second. Let me tell her. There we go. I had to do that. You know what? Let's do this. Hey, McKenna.
Yes.
Hey, I'm doing this. Can you say hello to her, Jaimie?
Hi, McKenna.
Hi.
You're on the podcast right now, McKenna.
Oh, okay. I was just calling you to tell you that I'm getting my braces off on the 21st.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yay.
Well, Jaimie that I'm talking to on the podcast right now, she saw pictures of you and she said how absolutely beautiful you are.
Aw.
Stunning.
And she's
Not a little girl anymore.
she's very supportive of you going to New York too.
Whoop, whoop. Supportive of it as well.
I will, McKenna. I'll call you here in a little bit. Okay.
Well, I'll be at school. So
Okay.
do not call me.
All right. Well, I love you.
I love you. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. The reason why I answered the phone too, Jaimie, is because that's the realities of life. Like there's the
is.
part of, but the reality part of it is a big one. So
And the fact she wants to call you to say, hey, Dad, I'm getting my braces off. You know, that's how our girls are with John now.
Yeah.
Is anything they do, you know, it's, hey, let me call Dad, you know, and it never used to be like that because they were afraid to interrupt him, you know?
Yeah.
So it's neat.
Do you think after this experience, I've never seen someone, when you said retirement, which most people at your age aren't retired, by the way, Jaimie, because I mean, it's like a teenager, you're like a teenager and you're retired. So, but when you said it, I mean, do you see you guys going back and doing, I mean, because there's going to be something. There's going to be something. I know that because you guys are too good at what you do to not.
He's really, so right now he's doing consultant work for the agency that he, that the agency that the agent represents him. And so he has been doing a lot of consulting for the up and coming players that are going into the draft. He's consulting, like telling them about the interviews, the interview process, what the GMs are looking for. He is loving it. He is absolutely loving it. It's keeping him in the game. It's keeping him involved with these players. And he misses the one-on-one because other things that people don't realize is being a GM, you're not just a GM of a football team. You're a GM of this whole huge business, right? So he was having to make decisions about the grass. He was having to make decisions about the plants at the stadium. Like, so it's like little things like that people don't know about. So he missed that one-on-one time for sure.
But you're enjoying retirement though.
Oh my gosh. It's the best. It is the best. It really, yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It just came in the perfect time of our life because he got to spend senior year with Taylor and all her stuff, and then Bailey's high school career. so making up for lost times for sure.
Uh, That's incredible. What I want to do, you just heard McKenna's voice, so I mean, she's still following the theater side. I don't know that she's going to be in the performance side of theater. I think she wants to do the business part of like fashion is what she's
Okay.
looking at. And that's why the Vogue Summer School is going to be incredible for her this summer. Um, so she's doing that. Maddox is still plugging away at football. He did have a tackle experience, like a tackle football. I don't know that he's going to continue to play tackle football. He didn't love it as much. He liked more of the flag
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
sports, sure, the performance. What advice do you have for both of them? And if you could say their names and call yourself Aunt Jaimie, it would be awesome.
For Maddox, for sure. Maddox, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Go with your gut, man. Don't like the tackling? Don't do it. You'll find something else. Does he play soccer or anything like that?
He's picked up basketball. I'm trying to get him to golf. He's a really good golfer. Like
Oh,
really.
yeah.
Do you guys golf? Do you and John golf?
He golfs a little bit.
Okay.
I've tried, but I tend to bring my book and drive the golf.
There we go. There we go. It's time out in nature too, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy, going around with him. But yeah, no, that tackle football is, if he doesn't like it, absolutely not. I mean, if he doesn't like it now, he won't like it later.
Yeah. I think it was
And then
a
with
little tough.
McKenna,
It was a little tough for him.
did you say McKenna? It's a Vogue?
Yeah, Vogue Summer School there.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is you're absolutely letting her go.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't that wasn't even the thought. I mean, she's going. My
Oh my
question
gosh.
is do I tell her and go, or do I not go? I mean, because I'd like to be there. I mean, I could figure out.
You
something.
never know. You may say it. You may tell her that what you want to do, and she may just like the idea of having you there,
Yeah.
but not there too,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, with McKenna, that's an amazing opportunity and an amazing career. And you and Brooklyn are so creative and so just, I don't know. I'm so proud of her and her dreams of going to New York. I just so proud of her. From Auntie Jaimie.
Yes. Well, I appreciate it. It's incredible. I mean, and I tell you, like, I would love to. Well, I've got some stuff that we're going to talk offline here in a second because we run a commercial and stuff like that. But I have a strange feeling that people are going to hear more of you. They're going to see you more. That there's going to be more stuff that happens. But I honestly, I want to have you on the podcast more. When I say this, like, okay, you talked about quickly, you alluded to it, and you were like, in the celebrity side, which you and John are, and you want to constantly do stuff. And I want you to understand that I was a recipient of those things, because very early on in the podcast, I think I like I said, it was like episode 2. I don't think that you guys understand how much that meant to me that you guys took your time and spent with me. That was because, I've been in this public speaking world for 30 years, getting on stages, things like that. I don't get nervous, but I tell you, when I was preparing for you guys' interview, and Brooke and I even asked Brooke, I was like, will you please come with me? Because I'm nervous. Like, I'm nervous in this scenario, but it was just, you guys are just so amazing. And too, the thing that you didn't talk about that I haven't thanked you for is during the pandemic, you had reached out, you texted me and you were like, hey, we're having a virtual like get together, and you invited me with all your friends, and I got to sit on, and you guys had wine and stuff like that. And John was in his office. I think he was in this office that you're in now. And it's where he did the draft. It was the war room. And I'm sitting, now you got to understand from the perspective from my side is growing up an Oilers fan from when I was 6, going through all these things and then having a friend say, hey, by the way, can you just jump on a Zoom real quick? And I jump on, and here I am in this realm. You got to understand what, like, I hope you do. I hope you understand what you do for people. Like, you're a phenomenal
I
human.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I really appreciate you thinking along that lines, because I do try. I mean, it has been hard the past couple of years, because you go from being able to like break through T1D or JDRF, for instance, being so heavily involved and able to give experiences to people. Like we used to have them run out of the tunnel, like for auction items during a game. One of them was doing the first play call. You know, the kids adored that. Stuff like that that we were able to give and to donate, to go into, like, we don't have those opportunities anymore. So we don't raise as much money and stuff like that. And so we kind of went through a little bit of almost an identity crisis, I guess you can say. I wouldn't say crisis, not a crisis, but you know what I'm trying to say. Just like, so I appreciate you telling me that, because that means more than what you even know. It's been hard. It's been hard. Yeah.
Well, I want to encourage you, because from the outside, like, you may think, I mean, the first story that comes to me is the little drummer boy, right? So the little drummer boy, everybody's bringing these lavish gifts, all these things. And the little drummer boy says, hey, I just got this song. And the song meant more than anything else. There's a parable like that in the word too, where, you know, all the people are coming and they're given these huge treasures and all this money. And then there's this woman who comes and gives a couple of talents. And, you know, Jesus was talking about the fact that you need to be like her. And they were like, well, she only gave that much, but that's all she had. And if you go back and listen to you when we first started off this episode, what you were talking about, your time in Honduras and your time still volunteering and doing all those things, from our perspective on the outside, you're giving more than you ever did at any point in your life.
Seasons change,
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Seasons change, and that's all this is we're in a different season of life, and we're trying to figure out our purpose in this life. And it's good. It's a good life to be in.
Well, you're incredible. I think if you spin it around and you and John listen to you, and you not only listen to you guys' words, but the actions in your lives, you'll already see that you guys are walking in your purpose. I mean, the generosity that you guys have, the hearts that you guys have, and I'm proud to call you a friend. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. Y'all need to come to Honduras with us one time.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome.
It's amazing.
What time of year do you guys go?
Christmas time every year, and then I'm going in March with Bailey's school. I'm going to help because Bailey's going to be there with her soccer team, and then sometimes in June. So it depends the year.
Yeah. Well, that would be an awesome trip. Let me do this. I'll run a little outro. Jaimie, it's not I got to have you on again. There's so much more that we can go after. Can you believe, watch this. Let me tell you a surprise. Can you believe that 2 hours and 17 minutes have transpired?
Really? Just now?
Just now.
I'm in John's office.
Is that wild?
He's probably like needing to get in.
There we go. Stick around for just 1 second. I'm going to run a commercial, and then I just want to chat for a second. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. You're officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Okay.
Yeah. And this the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small grooves into launch pad flights. Yeah, this the vibe that raised us, made us, saved us. Love so strong that the hard times praised us. From base life roots to the freeway nights, we turn small rooms into launch pad flights.